What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the climb. The climb. I am your host, X-Ray. Joining me again, Mr. Venom. How you doing, sir?
Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome
I'm
back.
doing good. I got a cough back from my vacation with 10 out like 9 to 10 hour meetings every day for 4 days. But I was on vacation.
Quote
So
unquote
I'm glad to be
vacation.
back. Yeah, my work vacation. So glad to be back.
Yeah, and joining us this week, a rookie and a professional yapper, I think, in the Summit esports community
Oh,
at this point, Mr. Bronzina. How you doing, sir?
hello, hello. I will say I am an Olympic level yapper,
Okay,
at least
okay.
silver medal.
Oh, okay, but no gold.
So
Honestly,
silly.
I feel like Array might have me beat. I'm just saying.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. You know what? Game recognizes game, so I
Bro,
get it.
you've never met Soap, bro.
I mean,
Soap,
Oh, I
10,000 messages, two
did.
months. This shit
I
was
did meet
crazy.
Soap, and actually after he left, he invited me to his server to play Clash with his team.
oh my
Um,
gosh,
you want to know how that went?
pretty bad.
Probably lost and it was talking
Yeah.
constantly. It's probably no silence. You had no peace of mind in that
He talked
entire
con
game.
he talked constantly and we went 0-2.
That's so funny.
Okay,
But yeah. Well, we appreciate it here, but I got a couple questions for you before we get into the very extensive week of games. So starting off, but how'd you hear about Summon Esports and how'd you
So
join?
funny story, I've this is actually my second time joining Summit.
Huh?
So the first time I joined Summit was maybe I think 3 or 4 months ago. Um
Okay.
and I had joined Summit because I'm from the very last Nerf server. So when I came over,
Okay.
I was asked, "Hey, X team is going to be looking for like a top lane sub around your elo, like join the server, blah blah blah," right? So I joined it, chatted a little bit. Then I think X-Ray, I think it was you actually, who was looking at having me sub. You ended up going with someone, your coach ended up going with your whatever, not coach, your team captain ended up going with someone else. So I was like, I'm not really sure what else I'm gonna do here, so I left. And then I would say
Uh,
about
no, cause
a month ago, I rejoined after the Nerve server blew up.
damn. Actually forgot you like
really,
that? That's disrespectful. I wouldn't forget you.
I
To be fair, he probably didn't know you in the first place. He probably wasn't making the decision on it, but
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to
that'd
think.
be the
Oh, it was
account.
Gamer
Oh,
D. It was Gamer D.
Gamer
Um,
D. Okay,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was Gamer D.
I was gonna say, cause like I'm gonna be honest, like
uh,
because 3 and 4 months ago, I'm pretty sure our last
you didn't get
season.
drafted.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't get
Gamer D
drafted.
asked about
So
me in season 4, and then I ended up
Uh,
getting too busy with school and work, and I couldn't rank up high enough, fast enough.
okay. So yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I just
X-Ray
wasn't.
didn't mess with you unless you were on Too Easy's team. Like he don't mess with you from last season.
Yeah.
Like he ain't glazing you unless you were on that team. So if
True.
if your
True.
name
True.
is
True.
Briz or Too Easy, he'll glaze you. If not,
But
it
yeah,
ain't
I'm gonna be
then
happening.
honest. I don't even remember who else was on the team. Or Gator was on the team, but I don't remember. Oh, it was
Soap.
Loon. It was Loon and Soap. That's right. That was
Yeah.
right. But yeah.
But yeah, then Nerve was like, "Yo, they're running another tourney over here," and I heard that that a bunch of the very last Nerve people were signing up and getting in on it. So I figured that it would be fun to do.
Nice.
Well, are you happy that you joined at least? Are you having a good time?
Honestly, I am happy. I am happy that I have joined. Actually leaving on the tail end. I joined here on the tail end of our doing our fearless draft tourney over in very last Nerve server, which is a lot of fun. So.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. But yeah, I think with that, I think we should get into the very extensive week of games. So, starting off, I'm just gonna quickly talk about the 4 games that got played. The 3 games that previously got paid last week, or that were supposed to be played in previous weeks. Um, and then there was a non-scheduled game that happened. So just quickly kind of get through. So we have Wawa Warriors versus World Soup Center. 2-0 for Wawa. Game 1 was a draft diff. Beartail just being a weak side king, really strong. Morn had some really good ganks and covers. My Daddy and Azrael just really good performances. My Daddy's trying to playing the Hui in an incredibly high level, so really good. Azrael is just him, Sifra, I think, is I honestly think I may have underestimated him a little bit, because the Lulu pick and the Braum, and he's playing all these like crazy champions, and that just supports Azrael and allows him to kind of just get away with kind of these illegal plays. And then game 2, early invade for World Soup Center. Gets a kill off of Morn. Azrael is him. Basically goes like 17-1 or something like that. But he goes off. And basically the game's over at 17 minutes because Vayne gets a quadra kill. And when Vayne gets gold, it's kind of game over, basically.
Yeah,
and more
His Vayne is good.
things get kind of hard when you hand Vayne, 1,300 gold.
Yeah. And then Morn, just to add salt to the wound, they basically WSC basically won a team fight, but Morn was like, nah, I'm gonna steal Baron. Proceeds to steal Baron and then kills like 3 of them. So yeah,
I was watching that game and I was like, okay, wow, so Morn and Austral are just
better.
demons on the Rift, and honestly, MHD, correct me if I'm wrong, but MHD I think is high gold.
Yeah, he's like
Sounds about right.
gold,
but he is holding his own.
He's an OG. Hey, he's an OG. He's been around Summit and
he's
all
Emerald
League
3.
forever.
Emerald 3. He's
Emerald
priced at
3.
Emerald 3.
He's holding his own against some of.
Old man's got hands.
Well, yeah, he's
for sure.
He's one of the veterans, and granted, I think like a lot of these. I mean, he's playing against World Soup, so I mean, I would honestly give MHD the kind of the leading factor, just because, I think he just has more experience in this league and kind of has an idea of what everyone wants to play, and plus a lot of
More
these
life
players,
experience.
yeah. Plus, and he's playing more with Morn and Beartail, people who's I technically not played with, but have known of and have kind of like know what their play styles are, basically. So, but yeah, moving on. A week 4 games. That was a week 3 game. In a week 4 game, Wawa versus Elo Surfers, 2-0 for Wawa. By the way, this is gonna be the Wawa short because they basically played 4 games this week. So we have Wawa Warriors versus Elo. Game 1, Morn and Azrael show once again. A little bit of a bot diff, couple good plays for Elo, but just wasn't enough. Game 2, ISO versus Beartail. It was just that, basically, for like the first 15 minutes was just Beartail and ISO trading kills in the top lane. Other lanes are just farming. Once Azrael gets his first kill, the ball kind of gets rolling. He goes 17-1. And a big shout out to Sifra, played really well on the Kench, saved Azrael many times. Just, Azrael's kind of playing like a maniac in probably positions he shouldn't be getting or being played in. And, it's like it looks dicey. Fucking Sifra just eats Azrael and fucking runs away. And then spits him out and does it all again. Basically just does that and repeat, so. I mean, Wawa Warriors, honestly, this week have looked pretty solid for their previous week games. We'll talk about their week 5 game. But anyways, moving on to the Gauntlet versus Final Boss. PPP was subbed out. Their sub was the Fool. Hame and Asuna, they lane swapped. Asuna, though, played Smolder.
For
gross.
I can talk about that game 1 a little bit. So after we saw the Smolder lock, we were like, yo, this is game, like, if me and Neversaw have to play these lane matchups, like, this first game is going to be impossible to win. Halmea ended up counterpicking me topside. Asuna forced Neversaw into a bad lane matchup. So it was just a back and forth of all 4 of us just lane swapping like every other wave.
Don't you just love that? You just have to keep swapping lanes because I've had those
It
games
was
before, and it just aids.
it was a mind game of running up to lane and then hoping they didn't swap, realizing they did swap, and then leaving lane, and then coming back to the same lane hoping you faked them out.
Right.
Otherwise, the first 10 minutes of that game was just a farm battle for the four of us, and then bot lane was just kind of bot laning that game.
Yeah, for sure. And then speaking of bot lane, Goblin kind of going with the meta here and playing AP carries in the bot lane.
R.I.P. Rob.
Yeah, Rob has basically just given up on playing ADCs this season and is now committed to playing APCs because they're broken right now in the bot lane. So he's basically just spamming Seraphine, Ziggs, and Zyra is the three notable ones that I've seen
Give
so
me the
far.
Twitch Ash Caitlyn 3-trick Rob.
Dude,
I want him back. And
yeah,
Kog'Maw,
we
sorry.
we, we
And
all
Nyla.
we all want that, but you see, Riot hates those champions, so and hates
Okay.
ADCs, so
We're with you, Rob. Hashtag Rob Strong.
But final boss though, taking it to 3 games and actually winning the whole series. But overall fair looking game. 2 fights they lost, they were winning the whole time. Game 2, early game pretty close in terms of kills. Final boss were looking good mid to late game. But then the Gauntlet find some picks before objectives, good usage of ultimates, and just able to find good fights. Cena, really good performance. It was 8-1 on the
Appreciate it.
Camille. And then the Fool and KitKat just really good at frontlining and finding, really good team fights. The Maokai and the Sejuani looked really good, so props to them. And then game 3, so I didn't know this, but if you hex flash from, you can actually hex flash from bush to bush in like either lane, in top or bot. You can hex flash bush to bush, and as long as you're not on vision, they won't see the hex flash. Alters has showed me that, and so thanks for that. Noted for whenever I take hex flash in the support role. But they made a really good play in the bot lane, and just overall had really good. But the only person I want to talk about for game 3 specifically in this one is just Ryan. Really big reason why Final Boss won this game. He was everywhere. The Zinzao was really strong. He was just able to move around, be a big play, find big play, and just overall was just really good in pretty much every objective. Overall, 80% of the kills, 35 to 11 for kills, so not bad. And then almost seemed that the Gauntlet, whatever lead that they thought about getting, Ryan would stomp it out real quick. So, seeing if you have any thoughts on this, real quick.
So, game one was hard for us. We ended up not drafting super well, which ended up not being super great for us. Game 2, we ended up drafting a lot better. And then things started out pretty slow, like early. But then once I started to gain traction in top lane, with two nice cheeky little solo kills on Asuna, once I got that foothold, it was a lot easier to go ahead and snowball that game and extend my lead to Neversaw as well, and then the two of us just kind of took that game over.
Fair. And yeah, with that,
Game 3.
Oh yeah.
Game 3, just the team mental really wasn't there. We weren't playing together. Final boss was.
They were just the better team in the series.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's
granted,
a PPP diff. I blame PPP. He
true.
needs to show
Actually,
up. He can't be at the poo-poo plant. He needs to show up for the games.
But
I'm sure he wasn't working and had a valid reason, but he's not allowed to miss games.
Well, I'll be
Not
honest.
anymore. He isn't.
Like Final Boss,
Exactly.
like this whole season has realistically looked like a really good team. Like a lot of their games are really close and everything like that, but they have not been able to like really close out a lot of these games. So it's good to see that they actually got their first. I think this was their first win, this week. So I was really happy to see them kind of step up to the plate and, take home a dub.
I will say early, they also They're looking a lot better now, but early they looked like they were just kind of playing for fun team deathmatch, like every game. Like I think I think it was Jason was streaming one. I think it was Final Boss. But like you'd watch it and there was like averaging like 2 kills a minute in
There are a
like a
lot of
30-minute
games like
game.
that. Yeah.
There was like 60 to 70 kills and it was just like Rob being like, screw it, I'm gonna go for this, and
Yeah.
like they just kept fighting constantly. So they look like they're kind of found their groove and they're playing uh, a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. And then just moving on to our last game. Our first non-scheduled game was played. 1,000 Year Dynasty versus Wawa Warriors. Wawa beats them 2-0. Game one, we see the. Well, we'll talk a little bit about this more in their series. But they did a 4-man swap in their first series that they played. But they did a 4-man swap for 1,000 Year Dynasty. They have Evaps top, Loon jungle, Big Dummy ADC, and VLN to the support role. And then Flasher Knight, of course, in the mid lane. They actually had to sub out VLN. Got Adamex. SK Evets had a very large lead, but Wawa was just winning every other lane. Every fight, 1,000 fought without Evaps. They kind of lost, but after they started fighting with Evaps, the Aatrox was just so strong that they actually won every single fight besides the last one, which was just, poor positioning, getting caught out, maybe just overextending a little bit. I mean, Azrael's just kind of untouched on the fight and just mows down the rest of the team. And Evaps runs out of ultimate on the Aatrox, so he's not able to heal as much in the fight. And then game two, fairly one-sided for Wawa. Evaps tries to backdoor with the Trundle, but it's unable to do it. And it came down. I say mini base race, but it was really, I mean, Azrael's playing Jinx, so he's gonna kill the tower and get excited.
Oh.
So nothing really too big. But that is gonna wrap up those extra games that we're not gonna go too deep into because they're. There was 11 series, okay? We're not gonna I'm not gonna sit here for two hours talking about the games. So
Not committed. That's what I hear.
You want you want to go in depth with the games?
Bro, I didn't watch half those games. I don't think I watched any of those. I was literally at work for 4 days straight.
So I think you should shut up. What am I paying you for?
You're not.
That's the point.
Exactly.
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 Anyways, let's get into our week 5 games. So starting off, we have Alan and the Chipmunks versus McMammals. So game 1, Alan the Chipmunks, Doki was removed from the team, and they got the replacement, the Black Knight, which is a mid laner. So they did a couple role swaps. So they had King Caterwall actually going to the top lane.
Is his name Black Knight or Blank Knight?
Oh, is it blank? Hang on.
I have no idea. In your notes you have Blank Knight, but you're calling him Black Knight.
Hold up.
Like this isn't RuneScape. Like
hold up. Okay, it's Blank Knight. Sorry,
Blank Knight. Yeah.
I fucked that up.
Yeah.
My bad. Blank Knight.
No, I got
the Blank Knight.
I got you, X-Ray. I don't want
Thank
you to
you.
look
Appreciate
stupid
it.
on
Appreciate
here.
it. Role swaps. King Caterwall, Knight mid, and then Bossler to the ADC role. So, I mean, a couple of things here. King Caterwall goes to the top lane, and he's a Masters player, so I'm not really what I'm gonna expect yet. But honestly, plays really well in the top lane. Knight really solid, in the on the Orianna, and then Bossler just plays those APCs, the Seraphine, Ziggs, whatever. Same thing as Rob, basically just abusing the meta. So, one team played top side, and then another team played bot side. Alan and Chipmunks were playing for top side. McMammals, I think it's reversed. I think. Yeah, I think. I don't remember, honestly. The 11 series, okay? I'm just going to say that. Anyways, moving on. Pretty close, though, the game. But more they fought Mundo, the more likely they were going to lose the game. He had 1,693 stacks on Heartsteel by the end of the game. How do you...
Watching that game...
How do you do that?
Watching that game was a fever dream. It was so brutally one-sided.
Bro, and the thing is like they literally never bought. I know I did. I actually they didn't buy heel cut till 37 minutes into the game, and then 2 minutes later, the fucking Alan and the Chipmunks ended the game because
Way too late.
yeah,
Way too late.
like it was so crazy because bro is just popping like basically dying in the fight, and then it was like, oh yeah, R button, and then he heals to full in like about in a matter of like 2 seconds. So yeah, this one was a little hard to watch just because like McMammals kind of set themselves for failure basically without like not billing kill cuts. So but and then game two split map again. Light, very tragic for McMammals as I won't back down dies to tower. There was this spot play, and I won't back down honestly looked really good. It looked like a good gank, but he goes too far and dies under tower, and then they don't get a return kill. So unfortunate. And then
I felt so bad watching that play.
I saw it. Yeah,
I saw it. I was like, I know he is so mad right now. I would be mad over that.
yeah. And then honestly, Knight with a solo bolo on Nico. You know, what a way to make a statement in your summit debut. Basically saying, hey, listen, I may be, I think like silver or something like that. I don't know his actual rank.
I think he's silver.
Yeah, and basically says, hey yo, I'm cracked on the Oriana, and then solo kills Nico. So pretty solid. And then honestly, just very one sided. ANC able to just kind of take out McMammals with their lane swaps. So really good. King Caterwall really good on the Swain game two. But yeah, and just to talk about these last two teams before I send it over to my co-hosts is talk about their chances of making playoffs. So far, both teams have a chance to make playoffs. So starting off with McMammals, they have a couple conditions though. So they must. So their next two opponents are Summit Admins and Final Boss. It's Final Boss. Sorry, Final Boss then Summit Admins. They
Not
must
too
2-0 both of them.
That's a little rough.
And one. It says one of. Also, I should note. Thank you, Pyrosis, for making these notes. Appreciate it. Thanks, boss. He's a real one. And then one of, and then in parentheses, SA must lose versus Sprinklrr's Tinklrrs, or GFC needs to be lower than 10 points. So I think.
Bro has a dictionary for how they could make the playoffs.
So basically, so they can only get 6 points, or sorry, 10 points total. McMammals. So.
Oh, this is McMammals.
Yeah,
my bad.
McMammals.
The other team.
So they basically need they need to win out, but I don't think it's very likely, especially how Final Boss is looking right now. So, but maybe. And then lastly, Alan and the Chipmunks, they actually have, I think, a lot of a tougher one, because they have to play Bewear Gaming and Rookies and Cream. I think they'll beat Bewear Gaming 2-0. But Rookies and Cream, I just don't see them 2-0ing them unless, Rookies and Cream just has a crazy off day, I guess. And to add to it, GFC or Summit Admins don't get a single point, basically. That's like their only contention. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so
they're kind of.
I mean, granted, they're at 4 points. They're the bottom two teams right above Bewear Gaming, so they're fifth, sixth. So they're gonna have a lot of conditions in order to make playoffs. But
yeah,
I mean, we'll see. I think if I had to choose one more likely to do it, I'd probably say Alan and the Chipmunks. But granted, it's Rookies and Cream, so that's like the one exception. Like if they can somehow do that, I mean, great, cool. I mean, Alan and the Chipmunks, I just are better at this point. They're scaling.
I think McMammals has a better chance of their scenario happening.
I would
some of that if you have a good strategy.
But how they've been playing though that's the thing though. Is like compared to how they're been playing, I just don't see them 2-0ing both.
Well, I'm just saying it's more likely than the other. I don't
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
be fair. I don't think McMammals is gonna like have that scenario play out and make it, but
Right.
like beating rookies and you said they have to take the 2-0 rookies and cream
Yeah,
Allen's team
so both teams have to win out. They have to go 4-0 in their next 2 games.
is a Ray's computer working? Because like I guess
Yeah.
if you go to a Ray's house and break his computer, I guess you could win against a Ray 2-0.
Yeah,
Call in a
maybe.
missile strike.
Yeah,
True.
like unplug Pony's router, I guess. Like I don't
Yeah,
know,
just to have them.
DDoS the whole team.
Yeah, that's. But
Like
yeah, that's all I got for this first series. I'm gonna send it over to Venom. What's your thoughts?
um, King Caterwall finally didn't look like dog shit. I'll be honest. This
Don't
whole
sugarcoat it.
well, like I'm pretty sure King Caterwall is aware of what that him and Light have not played well in the bot lane this season for what they should do. Like I
Mhm.
think I forgot one's GM, one's Master. I don't remember who's which. I think it's Light is GM, right?
I'll fact check you real quick.
Yeah. One of them's GM, one peak GM, one peak
Light is
Masters.
GM.
Okay, yeah. So King Caterwall is Masters, and we've seen him play in like combines and stuff, and he's good. But it's like they have underperformed immensely. Him going to top lane, Light looked better with Vossler. Obviously, it's kind of easier because Vossler's playing like Ziggs,
Right.
Seraphine, so like that just lets Light screw off and just do whatever he wants anywhere else other than bot lane.
Mhm.
Um, I will say King Caterwall looked good, but he was playing against John Dye, who I think most people put in the bottom like 3 to 4 top laners in their power rankings. I don't remember. I think VLN usually is the bottom of that for top laners. No offense. Um, but so I'd like to see if King Caterwall keeps playing well against actually good top laners. Like if
Mhm.
he does that against looking at the list right now, if he, obviously yeah, like obviously if he does it against Owen, he's big brained. But
Yeah.
like I'd like to see him do it against like a Gawr. I'm looking at their group. Like a
Uh.
wand cake, go even with a wand cake. Go like even or beat Gawr, even or beat X-Ray, Pat's like I need to see him play against like do
So.
this against good top laners. Did they
Oh
play
no.
their last two again?
He plays Banana and Pat Stick. Those are the his
Okay,
last
Pat's
two.
stick is good though. So, like, I think he'll no, like, I think he'll run over Banana unless Firestorm puts on like his like a Michael Jordan performance and camps the living shit out of him.
All
But
right.
I think he'll roll Banana. But I think against Pat's stick, I think Pat's stick is playing way better, and he's actually a
Mm.
top laner. So I don't know. Overall, King Caterwall looked good. The rest of the team didn't look great. Like OT Gator looked better now that he's not ripping his hair out because Doki won't take Flash for any
Bro.
series. Um, I think the vibes are good. I would assume on Ellen and the Chipmunks. Come off a win. Uh, your top laners no longer refusing to take Flash in trolling by running like exhaust ignite or exhaust TP, whatever the hell he was running. Um, but and then, so I think the Mundo looked crazy. We've seen Owen pop off on Mundo. I'm sure there's another good top laner that's played it. I remember, but second game. Oh, I do want to say, as good as Blank Knight looked, he did like 0 damage game one.
Oh yeah, I
Like
know.
he did like I think he was like 2 or 3. I think it was like 3 or 4K damage more than the support Nautilus. But he didn't die and he didn't end. So, game two. I don't remember if game two was Pai's Ezreal, but Pai's Ezreal. Oh no, game two was Kalista. Pai's Ezreal game one was on another level until he ran into a Fed Mundo with a heart steal. Um, but Pai had snipes. Him and Spirit Man were playing pretty well. With the Rakan Ezreal. Game two he played Kalista. I think the Kalista was fine. I know he's been practicing Kalista. He had a big CS lead. No, I just think overall it's like King Caterwall kind of just crushed top. And then the rest of the team kind of chilled, and then Gator went top and kind of was like, "Hey, you're ahead. I'd like to take some of the kills as well, or I'd like to get assists and kills top lane with you." As John Dye soft ints me, like I don't want to say soft ints, as he's losing pretty bad top.
Yeah, let's be honest. Game 1 was with King Caterwall
Yeah.
top. That was some Kanye wheelchair basketball level.
uh, man.
Kind of true. Like I said, no offense to John Dye. I think he's off roll. But still, you
Yeah.
gotta.
You know, he's doing his
He's
best.
diamond. I think he's diamond. Is
Wait,
I
he's
would
diamond?
expect.
Yeah, he's a diamond
I
player.
think yeah. I'd expect more. I don't know. I just expect more from him. Like if you're D2 mid laner, you should be able to be perfect, like okay top lane. I don't expect you to be Owen, a Wand Cake,
Right.
like a Sprinklrr. Like I don't expect you to be GM Masters top lane, but like I expect you to play to a level that like I'd expect you to play like Emerald 4 at least if
I
you're D2
think
mid, I expect Emerald like Emerald top lane gameplay
so. I think
at a minimum.
the problem with John Dye is early in the season he was playing a lot of these like carry style champions, you know, the Camille, Rumble, or like
He's
notable
still playing
ones.
it.
But the problem is you're not performing on them. And his one game that he actually did perform in, and their one win, is he played Shen both games and played really well. So I'm curious of why he's not just picking these tank top laners and just sitting top and you know yes you're gonna be weak side, but still I think it's a lot better than like feeding the enemy top laner even though they're worse than you. It's like
You have Nico Pai Pai. You don't need to carry
yeah,
top side.
right. So
You are
You
not the
at
carry
that
on this
point,
team.
you just have to stabilize the lane. You have to
Yeah.
stay stable. You have to stop like hemorrhaging gold.
Yeah.
right,
Pai
yeah.
Pai Flame Horizon Jerboa's Vossler, but he Flame Horizoned him by like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Like you can't you just all you have to do is not in the Masters player top, which is easier said
right.
than done. But yeah.
All right, Cena, let's hear it. Or
S-
whatever your remaining thoughts are, I should say.
Honestly, Blank Knight solo killing Nico was honestly the highlight of game 2,
Cinema.
and then it was just downhill for them from there. It was just a you know.
Yeah, I think Nico's mental, honestly, after that, like getting solo killed, I think his mental was kind of gone. I don't think he was streaming, but yeah, I bet his mental was kind of just boom after that. So, but yeah, if that is that how you got Cena?
Honestly, that's really everything that I had to say. That
Oh.
with that and just Kanye wheelchair basketball. That was ANC versus MCM. That
Okay.
really describes that whole series.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it. But yeah, let's move on to our next series. Gawr's first grade class versus Summon Admins. Very competitive game. I think this was actually match of the week. Streamed on the Summit Esports Twitch. So game one, Adolfo is out for 2 weeks, but we have Woojin getting in a sub. Lane swaps. Woojin goes into the top lane. Jason goes into the jungle, and Gawr plays ADC Yasuo, which was interesting to see. There was an invade for GFC. Ends up with first blood going over to Frost. I misspelled Frost and put Forced. SA very strong early game. Tubby Soraka kind of go crazy. Bro is flashing to heal Strand in a lot of these fights just because of the fucking movement speed, and Tubby was playing super great. GFC though had 6 grubs with Yorick, and I think Wujin honestly did a pretty good job of abusing it when he could. Granted, a lot of the times GFC would die before they were able to kind of take full advantage of it. But there was a really crazy play Frost solo stops a GFC Baron. I'm trying to remember what he was playing. Oh yeah, he was playing Cassante. He was playing Cassante mid, and he solo stops a Baron. There was four of them, and or not four of them, three of them, and he kills two of them, and basically says, "Nah, I'm him." But and Tubby also helps. I'll put Tubby in there. Pressing W. Healing him. So, but
I I did,
I think Frost was good here. Crazy here.
I do agree. Frost played really, really. Honestly, Frost played out of his mind. Frost has been playing, in my opinion, I think Frost has been playing really, really well for like the last 3-4 weeks.
Right.
I honestly want to see if he keeps up this performance because honestly, like he's a contender, right? Like he isn't someone that you can just kind of write off and ignore.
Right.
The Baron stop, I was watching from Jason's POV, watching that game, and I remember hearing the words, "Wait, does he kill us here?" And then,
And then he kills him.
and then he basically did. Honestly, it really really nutty play from Frost, but honestly, super close game. But then one cake just wiped
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. I mean, like a fairly close game. There was no really significant gold lead that was like not totally unreachable. I mean, biggest was 3K. Which I mean is still large, but it's doable. It's like reachable. It's like one and a half team fights maybe or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, last fight was looking really good for GFC. They catch out Strand, kill Frost, but Cake says, "Nah, I'm better," and then cleans up everyone. But Gawr, however, lives, and they're able to just shove and end the game for Summon Admins. Just because they're just better. And then game two, Ebessa's picked. First Ebessa of Summit history. Um, Picked by not Frost. It was uh who was it? Or no, it wasn't even Frost. It was Woncake. Woncake picks Ebessa. And then Tarek Jungle was
I'm
another
not gonna lie.
very interesting pick. I think it wasn't terrible. I think it was I don't think it's a bad pick. I think it was just poorly executed.
Yeah. I thought his build kind of stunk, and then I saw the Tarek early
Yeah.
gameplay where he just died, and I was like, ugh. Just
So
watching, I was like, this isn't working out at
bro
all.
bro is building like PPP. He
Yeah,
built
it was a,
he built Aurora or a Rod of Ages. I was like, "What?"
On Tarek?
Yeah, I don't know.
it.
I don't know how that works. Like,
It's because Tarek has like serious mana issues.
so build tier.
Roa gives a ton of mana, but
Build tier.
it
It's
lets him stay in fights longer because as he takes damage, it gives him mana. I can see where the thought process was going. I just think at that point you just have to go Iceborne Gauntlet and Fimbulwinter.
I still
Yeah.
I still think it's like just tier and just build like full tank and like yeah yeah Fimbulwinter and then like I don't know whatever other tank items Tark builds, but I mean granted I'm not a Tark jungle enthusiast, so maybe I'm wrong, but
I know
anyways.
one. I know a Tarek jungle enthusiast. Call up Logarish. He played against Pokeland Peas and he embarrassed the hell out of Noah's team. Sorry, Noah. I know you're watching this. You got Logarish embarrassed you on it.
But going out of draft and actually into the game, another role swap guard back in the top lane. Wujin plays ADC on the Caitlyn. And then I lose saying my notes. Not a fan of the Tark build. Wujin very big lead on the Caitlyn. Honestly, just kind of getting ignored in a lot of these team fight. It's just kind of untouched. And honestly, I think that was just Summit Admin's downfall. There was an Ender fight. Brissy and Jason get caught out before Baron. And then they just start. Elder, Gawr, Odysseus, and Wujin just walk in and proceed to just take advantage of poor positioning from Summon Admins and kills 4 people on Elder to secure it. Tubby tried to steal it with Luxar, overall, I just don't think Summon Admins played super well. I think they had a couple good plays, but they were just unable to close out, and that's why GFC won. And then just game 3, rough game for Jason and Gawr. Jason was like 4-10 or something like that. He was cooking. That's all I'll say. And then Strand went deathless. Really good Corky. Really good team fights from some admins. And listen, I'm gonna be honest. Tubby Seraphine, kind of MVP of Game 3, I think. Just kept their team alive for a lot of team fights. So like even the W, like even if it's on like still like a like I think like level 5, it's like a 8-second cooldown or something like that. It may be a little bit shorter, but 8-7 second cooldown. I mean, he's basically spamming that on repeats just to heal people. So really well done. Otherwise, fairly one-sided game. Game 3, some admins getting the work done against GFC. And speaking of getting work done, some admins actually, with them beating Gawr's first grade class, they actually move up in the standings. So some admins is now 3rd place, and GFC is now 4th. And
Very, very unlucky that they ended up losing their jungler
yeah,
for these next 2 weeks.
I
But
think he's coming back next week. Is what Jason said in yesterday's episode of the Power Rankings. So we'll see how it goes, I should say.
hopefully he's reformed. Um, having played with them recently, that's still kind of up in the air.
What?
Okay, fair. And then lastly, so technically these two are still not locked in for playoffs, but I would say these two are most likely to be in playoffs, I would say, for Pool A. Just starting off, we have let me just make sure I read the right person. GFC, they need one more point and they guarantee a spot. And then vice versa. Summon admins just need 2 points and they're locked in for playoffs. I don't know why
Both
they
teams
need.
play.
I don't. Let's see. GFC. So if I would to say who I think is going to get points, I would definitely say Summon admins, because GFC has to play Rookies and Cream and Power of Friendship.
They can take a game off Power of Friendship.
I can see it. I don't think they. I mean, if they do take a game off of Rookies and Cream, I think that's really big and definitely
I think
energize the
that's
team.
less likely.
I
I
would agree.
I think they're most likely is to get, like, BOF is struggling the last couple series. Like, they need. I think they play Rookies and Cream first, so
Yeah.
there'll probably be a little pressure, but they should be fine. Like, if
Uh.
they take the game off Rookies and Cream, perfect. Then you just go play for fun against POF
Yep.
for
No,
seeding.
they have not scheduled any of their games yet, but there are a couple games scheduled already. But yeah, and then some admins plays. Um, Sprinklrrs, Tinklrrs, and McMammals. So I can see. I don't know if they take a game off of Sprinklrrs, Tinklrrs, but I don't. I can see them actually winning the series against McMammals, in my
That
opinion.
one might be interesting because, like, Tubby's Strand against Pai Pai. Pai Pai's played on team with Strand and Tubby, so he kind of knows how they play. Um,
I mean,
I don't know. That'll be
we'll
a fun
definitely see.
series.
I think it's definitely going to come down to the wire for uh, like we said, McMammals, Allen. They basically have to have everything happen correct for them. Basically,
Yeah.
they need to win out and be able to do that. So
John Dye versus One Cake's gonna be a rough one.
yeah, for sure. But
That
Be rough.
yeah, that's
You thought Owen versus VLN was rough? Wait for a One Cake versus John Dye.
okay. Granted. I mean, VLN we have no data on. We know what Owen's gonna do, but VLN also doesn't know who Owen is. So
Well,
it's
he already
basically
played him.
yeah, but no. But that was
Oh.
but it's your
Oh, I see
season.
what you
It's season opener, and you're playing against the best top laner.
They won. I think they won the series, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
2-1. Yeah.
And that's all VLN cares about. He
So,
said I can go 20 CS, be down 10 kills. He goes, if we win the game, we win the game. So
but yeah, that's all I got for this series. I'm gonna send it over to Mr. Broncina.
All right. So we're still talking about PFC versus Summit Admins.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, game 1 and game 2 were nice and competitive. Game 3 was just Tubby was tubbying. Nobody was dying. The Seraphine was going crazy. Honestly, I think if GFC had Adolfo, I think they have a way better shot of winning, at least going 2-1, maybe 2-0.
Yeah, I think 2-1 is realistic, honestly, right now. I don't
Yeah,
know if I
2-0
don't.
is kind of a stretch.
I think 2-0 is stretch just because like I think recently GFC is just not in the right headspace, and I've talked to a lot of the GFC players, and they've kind of agreed like we're just not we're not in the right headspace, and I think honestly I think just this week in particular it was just because Adolfo was not there.
And then I think also here Gawr had some pretty rough other series and other tournaments, so he was feeling kind of down going into it too.
Bro, he at least he did not lose 3 in a row. He put a fucking message in the self promo channel and was like, will I lose three league matches this week?" But no, he won. He won in the one that mattered in the playoff one. So
That's Titan League, right?
yep, the Time League.
yeah, he
Yeah,
went.
watch that one too. Gawr and Jason did fantastic.
Much better than their summit performance for sure.
Yes,
At
much
least
better.
game 3 wise, because that game 3 was rough for sure. Um, anything else, Mister Cena?
Um, Not a whole lot to say. I feel like I've kind of covered the things I wanted to say, namely the Tarek jungle. I just thought wasn't it.
Fair. Yeah, it was definitely something. But yeah, Mister Venom, hit me with it.
Yeah, I don't remember when this was played, but I think I was busy during most of it. But I've watched parts of it. I think as much as I know Jason can jungle, and he did out like game 1 and 2. I think he like heavily out farmed, but like game 1 he was playing Karthus, and game 2 I
Right.
think it was the Tarot game. So like, but he did play well on the jungle. I think him as on ADC is just better for that team. Like
Yeah, for
him
sure.
and Brissy as opposed, and then obviously having a doppelkiller, I think is just better. Sorry
For
if I'm
sure.
mute
Nope,
and have to cough.
you're good.
Um, no, I think what Charles played Fizz game 3. Game 3 is a wash. I'm not even gonna talk about that.
I,
I
I,
played Swain game
I was
1,
getting
Swain game
flashbacks
2.
from fucking the Tinklrrs game because he did it in game 2 last week, and it was kind of the same thing as they had a lead, and then they proceeded to throw their lead basically.
Yeah, and I think Charles got quad banned every game. Yeah. So I'm looking at at least the game 1 and 2. Game 1 and 2, he had a Hui, Action, Silas, Vladimir ban. Um,
Respect Charles, man.
yeah, no, well, that's the thing. Like, you give him if Action's strong, like give Charles Action, he will actually like 1v9. So I think I know Charles can play Swain. I'd like to see him on something like more aggressive than Swain.
Hmm.
Obviously, the Fizz didn't work out, but I don't think that was like a result of the Fizz itself. Like I have the VOD open. And it's like he had an early kill on Fizz. It's just like well, the whole
Right.
team's lose. He actually had several early kills on Fizz, where it's like so it's like him playing an assassin was the problem. It's just team wide, but I think I want to see Charles on something more aggressive. I want Jason at 80. Like I obviously with the Doffel out, that you gotta do what you
It,
gotta do. Like
Jason said the plan is to have him back this week, so I think that'll happen.
yeah, I think they'll look better. Yeah, they should like a wand cake is really wand cake's just good. I don't know what else to say.
Yep.
He is extremely good. Like I think his scoreline every single game was absurd. Like
Yep.
even the loss, like even the game that they lost, his what's her name, Mbessa or whatever.
Yeah, Mbessa.
Um, and his Mbessa he was like 8-2, or
Yeah,
was it? He ended the game 8-3 on Mbessa on the loss when they were down like 9k gold or something by the end of it. Like
right.
so it's like a wand cake's just really good, and so and they just have to kind of play around him. Strand and Tubby. Tubby is like the best Enchanter player I think in Summit, or one of the best Enchanter players in Summit. Like
This
his
season?
Seraphine, like
Yeah,
you,
for sure.
well, uh, honestly, the only one I could think of that's well, obviously Dean doesn't really count. Dean's Challenger. Dean's gonna be better at every single individual champ just because he's better at the game. Um, but in terms of everybody else besides Dean, I would say one of the best. Like the only person I could think of is Hollow's Eve,
Yeah.
from La Liga season 4. But even then, like I think
I
Tubby
would
could
agree. I
contend
would
with
agree. There's not
Hollow's
a
Eve for
there's
one
not a
for
whole
like
lot of
the best
other like
Enchanter player.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like his Soraka, I remember when I played against it, it was like I think it was some season 1 or 2. It's the most annoying thing to play against. I hate Soraka, and Tubby makes me hate Soraka even more because of how good he is on Soraka. Same with Seraphine. So it's like I think Seraphine's his best champ. You have to consider Seraphine bans. I know. Looks like they banned his Janet and Soraka.
Yeah, and I
So,
think game 3, yeah.
but yeah, I think Tubby and Strand are solid, playing solid in the bot lane. Uh, as long as Cookies can play around top side and protect bot side,
Yep.
I think they'll be really good. I forgot. Well, and what did you say? They need 2 points, right, to make
Yeah,
playoff.
summon
I
admins
think they.
need 2 points.
I think they get those 2 points. I don't see why they.
Yeah. I
I think
mean,
both these teams make playoffs. I see
I
GFC
think
getting 1 and Summit Admins getting at least 2.
I yeah, I like I said, I think these two are more likely to actually make the playoffs than McMammals or Allen and the Chipmunks right now,
Oh, for
just
sure.
compared to like schedules and everything like that. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, with that, we're gonna move on to our next game, which is Bewear and Rookies and Cream. There was no VOD, but I do have the post game screenshots, so I'm just gonna quickly run it down. I mean, Array fucking 12-2 popping off. Pat Stick
That's
was
thick.
eight
Dropping
and
an
zero.
8-0 performance on Tom Kench.
Miss it.
Oh,
You went bench to Kench, and this is what you
wait,
get.
wait, is that wait,
So
who's their top laner?
Pat Stick.
Who is that? No, not the
Oh,
They had a
yeah.
sub.
They have two subs. They have
ooh,
banana and Naki are missing. So and then
ah,
Firestorm, putting up some numbers once again. I mean, over
Firestorm doing his best,
two
but
two
a
thirds
what
two
is that?
thirds six out of the 9 kills for
Like
his
an
team.
almost 5k gold difference in top lane alone is something that's pretty
Yeah,
hard to make up.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
I think the Kled build is crazy too. Sorry viewers, but he built Eclipse into a Tom Kench. So yikes.
Honestly, at that point, I think you just have to go. You just have to go Black Cleaver.
Yeah, for sure.
Black
Uh,
Cleaver. Yeah.
I
and
wish I
then
could
and
see this game. I don't know what the hell happened to Yahuzi and Barbecue Leona. They went 2-16 bot, but bot lane only had 4 kills. Was TV just
yeah,
absolutely was
TV
TV in a
t-
race slamming bot lane over and over again?
probably. I mean, dude.
Oh,
Oh, it looks like Rookies and Cream also had a sub.
yeah,
But
anti for Picronis.
I mean, both Anti and Pony had 18 assists. So yeah, they're going crazy. I think a game two just looks pretty much the same as game one. A little bit closer, but still, I mean, it's a 26-minute game. So, uh, yeah, I mean, that's all I really got. If any of you guys got something,
Yeah, I'll talk about Rookies and Cream just in general. Array is Array. He is playing out of his mind. He's played 3 different roles in Summit in 3 seasons, and he has looked good on all 3 of them. We thought his ADC was good. Just then he starts playing mid. Obviously, I don't know how good this Snowflake Gecko is. Um, Like I'm assuming he's like Emerald or maybe even lower because I think Naki's Diamond. So they probably got like an Emerald sub.
Let's see.
Uh, but like Array is him. He's playing insane. Him and Touch Vigor, they are playing insane. And then one of the gems of the draft, I think, is Pat's Thick. I had never I think he might be a VLN guy. I think it's his first season. It's like I just thought, okay, it's it's another solid tank top lane, which is the Summit special. You throw your lower elo player on like Tom Kench, you throw him on Ornn. We saw Lord Kobayashi do it 2 seasons ago. And Pat's Thick's been playing out of his mind. I think that team's got vibes for days. Pony, I think she is her pronouns, but she's playing out of her mind. Like Pony, I think Array got actually several steals in this draft. Like Pony and Pat's Thick are both are both super value, and Array knows how to lead a team. He's good vibes. So I think this team's really good. For Bewear, it's rough. Like having two subs, like I think it would still be a 2-0 for Rookies and Cream even with both their players, but I think it's closer.
Yeah.
Like I think it's
Uh,
I think that's
Ge-
slightly better than
so
probably Gecko.
so, and I think Naki is like D valued as D2. I think.
Yeah. What's Snowflake
Uh,
Gecko?
no, a master. He's actually a Masters player. Naki is
Snowflake Gecko is?
no. So
Oh,
Naki is
Naki.
valued at Masters.
Oh,
Gecko
okay.
peak rank plat 4.
Okay, yeah. It's okay. So
That
this
that is
Okay.
not a very good sub, but
Okay, yeah. As much as Beware Gaming has been pretty bad all season, I will say, uh, 2 subs, one of them being a platinum player for a masters player, this is expected.
yeah,
Like, not to
Yeah,
say Naki's been
it's
playing out of his mind, but like Naki's still better than a plat player. I'm not gonna disrespect the guy and say like that he plays at a plat level. Like that's
right, yeah,
ridiculous. So I think the subs kind of screwed him. I still think they lose this either way. But no,
yeah, for sure.
TV Array. I think that whole Array team is crazy, and I think from what I see, they have good vibes, good comms. I think they're one of the
For sure.
favorites in my mind.
Yeah.
And
And
R.I.P. Yahuzi. I'm sorry. Having an off-roll ADC is nightmarish. I
yeah.
would never do it. I'd rather quit the league than do that.
Yeah, speaking of like Yuhuzi and Beware Gaming, yeah, they're unfortunately eliminated from playoffs just because they're 0 points. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's not been a great season for them. I mean, granted, I think Firestorm has been playing fantastic. I mean, he's trying to win every single game, and he's
He's
putting up
popping off.
numbers. He's putting up numbers, and I mean, this last week I put him at number 4 because even though he's not winning a lot of these games, he's putting up numbers like every week. So, and then Brookies and Cream, they're locked into playoffs right now, so they're playing for seeding. Realistically, right now, I think they'll probably just stay second. They're a point behind Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs. Basically,
Wow.
they need Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs to basically just lose a game. They
That
need
ain't happening.
I doubt it. Just compared to our
My
schedule.
my goat top laner X-Ray's there to solo bolo anybody who comes near him, and then Sprinklrr will
All
carry
right,
the rest of the game.
all right. Well, fucking Venom Sugar didn't. Guys, surprise! But let's move on to our that game. Sprinklrrs
Oh, we
Tinklers
could skip
versus.
this one. I don't think anything interesting happened. No kills in the top lane. I think we should just move on. Right, X-Ray? Nothing happened top lane. You like
Jeez,
Owen
I
just did
mean,
Owen things against you, and then you just left the game, right?
yeah.
honestly this game is Sprinklrr Tinklrr versus World Soup. This was just another Kanye wheelchair basketball. It, this one was this. I'm not gonna lie. This one was a hard watch.
Damn.
As
Okay.
as the resident X-ray hater, this was a hard watch. First,
X.
we got two solos on Owen. It was just ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I mean, granted, I mean, Sprinklrr is just way too good. Like,
Sprinklr's so good.
he's so good. Like
Bro's so good at the
Them and
game.
Enderfridge, they're playing well. Loco, I mean, just was abusing World Soup. Granted, I'm not able to do anything. I'm getting dove. I got dove, I think, 3 times in that game. So I'm basically just dying on repeat. But I fucking Owen missteps and miscalculates, and I kill him, solo kill him. Oh my god, fucking, he's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna like hype myself up because I played that lane like shit. But honestly, I don't think World Soup Center ever had a chance to win this game. I mean, when Owen, who's on Swain, and is the only person who has a lead on his team, and then 3 people on Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs builds heal cut. I don't think you need to do the math.
Yeah, in
So
that position, it's Swain can't really solo carry the game. He can't 1v9. He really needs at least like maybe 1 or 2 other people on his team to also be ahead with him.
yeah,
But he can't really do a whole lot on his own.
yeah, for sure. And then game 2, it's honestly kind of the same, I would say. I mean, World Soup Center is a little bit more competitive because Owen is on um, Olaf, and then it's pretty much a copy paste of top lane. Of I'm just getting 3-man on daily, really good roams by World Soup. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're putting all their attention into Owen, and then they're kind of ignoring bot lane and Sprinklrr. So I think that's just kind of your downfall. I mean, like, I'm not gonna solo win the game, right? I mean, I understand like getting Owen ahead, but you can't just put everything on Owen because that's a lot of pressure because it's like he has to play perfect at that point. So, and I think Owen, even though he has been playing great, you can't put all the pressure on him. Granted, so, and I think Hootie's honestly just been kind of underperforming. Um, so, I mean, but what can you do? And then I'll just finish it on this. I did solo kill Owen, and that's why I put myself first in power rankings this week. Solo killed him. That's all I'm saying. But I mean, Cena kind of already explained his thoughts of Venom. You got anything for this one?
Yeah, I think just people need to realize who the GOAT of the top lane is. Like, unironic. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Like, I have the #1 ranked top laner in this, like, on the episode with X-Ray. Then there's like probably I'd say like 14th in Bronze Cena. Like, it's kind of, that's just kind of how it is. No, I think X-Ray, you played above expectations. I would say this game, like, you're usually pretty solid about not inting top. Whether you get a lead or not is dependent. But the fact that you were able to get kills on Owen Wall, in your words, getting camped, I didn't watch this I wasn't able to watch this series. So whether if I could confirm you actually got camped or you're doing that top laner stuff where you go, I got camped, I got ganked
Uh,
twice, I got camped, like that all top laners love to say. But like I think you played really well. Thim has always been solid. I know in the wise words that describe a really good friend of ours, no Thim, no win, is what GFC is facing because Jason needs Thim to win. And so no Thim, no win for Jason. Thim is playing out of his mind. Like, Sprinklrr is enabling him to just, play
wait.
ADC.
What if Thim, like, he's like, he realized Jason's holding me back. I need to be on a different team.
If Thim said that.
No.
Oh,
Listen,
sorry.
I'm just throwing out conspiracy theories at this point.
I'm just saying, no Thim, no win for Jason.
Fair,
Jason
fair.
needs to prove it, but Thim's playing out of his mind right now. I think I forgot who he was. I think he was on Ship Without a Captain last season. They had a kind of rough season. So it's good to see Thim bouncing back. Ender Fridge is playing, like, you know, He's playing well. I think he's silver or gold. Sorry if he's not. I think he's lower elo. Um, correct me if I'm wrong, X-Ray, but no, yeah, Thib's playing great, X-Ray's playing great, and then Sprinklrr's a menace to society. Um, he is the most dominant jungler, probably Summit's ever seen, because I don't think we've ever had a challenger jungler. I think
He's not technically
more.
challenger. He's GM.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nobody above him. Like, usually if there's a
I
challenger in a
I
role,
think Morn is higher than him.
like I would say Sprinkler and Morn are top two
Yeah.
jungles. No offense to everyone else, and it's not close.
I mean,
But
Jungle's the
no.
most competitive role this season for sure.
But yeah, Loco.
So
Oh, sorry. Last thing, I don't want to take a bunch of time. Loco, shout out Loco. He played top last season. I don't know what his main role is. I think it might be mid.
it's top lane.
Oh, it is top lane. So off rolling mid, he is playing very good. Sprinkler's enabling him, and he's playing aggressive. He's playing good. So Sprinklers look strong. I can't see people beating them. Maybe rookies and cream on a rematch, but they're looking strong.
And yeah, with that, we're gonna move on. Power of Friendship versus Elo Surfers. Game one, a very illegal draft. I'll be honest. We didn't ban any assassins from Gumby.
We're not banning out Gumby. We're just getting fried, I
Yeah.
guess.
So yeah, I don't know. And then ISO with a solo bolo on David, I thought was fucking nuts on the Zac, killing the
I
Mordekaiser like
honestly,
level 3.
I was happy. I was proud of him. I was like, hooray, let's go, let's go, let's go. I was like, ISO Didac stocks are up, and then he picked Singed, and oof. That
Yeah.
one was a little bit more rough, but this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. If David is getting consistently solo boloed by like platinum players,
You better
does
pick your
he
words wisely, buddy.
listen.
Pick your words wisely.
Listen, Venom
would
is a
you still
David
put
lover.
him in fourth place?
But let's see. I put Owen a wand cake. God, now I'm trying to think of other top laner. One second, let me pull up the top lane pool.
Because X-Ray put David fourth, so I'm just
Honestly,
checking.
I put Owen a wand cake and you
My
above
goat.
David. Yeah, I put you. Because you beat him straight up in lane, like pretty, like you beat David pretty bad. I would put you three above. I think Pat's thick. You can make an argument for. But like everybody else, John Dye, X-Ray, not Doki anymore. Obviously, King Caterwall is now technically top, but he's only played one game against John Dye or
Right.
whatever. So it's like you have John Dye, X-Ray, Doki slash King Caterwall, Banana, Asuna, Baratel, Isodidact, VLN, and obviously I don't know who you put up. Like, are you putting Pat's thick above him? Is that who you're saying?
So I think
Like,
okay, realistically, a top 5 is
I could
probably
see him fourth.
Owen, Wandcake, probably Evaps.
Broncina.
He's playing
Oh,
freaking
I
nuts.
forgot
Evaps,
Evaps played top.
Evaps,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And
If
then
Evaps, I would put
Evaps third.
above. I'd
Evaps
put
is
David
going third
fifth.
for sure.
Okay, so I put David fifth. If Evaps is switched to top from, I think he was playing jungle, I'd put David fifth. If
I like
like
how this kind of just
realistically.
turned into like a power rankings
No,
episode all of a
no.
sudden.
I respect. I respect. I just defend David.
I'm just
David's my
saying,
boy.
Fair.
if you can defend David, I think he deserves a cooking.
Fair enough. But honestly, this game came. Sorry, back to Power Friendship versus Elo Surfers. Game one. I mean, it all just came down to, jungle. I think it's just how many neutral objectives the team had. Elo got most of the objectives besides 3 grubs and a dragon, but they had every other objective. So, which I think was like 1-4 and whatever. I don't even know. They were just playing better than Power Friendship. And then game 2, a very, very scrappy game. 67 kills in a 42-minute game. So it was definitely going the distance. And then Gumby versus Sai, who is the bear carry. There was another Mbessa pick. Sai played Mbessa. And then Infection, very good series. Same with Gamer D. I think both of them played well above their rank this game. So that's really all I got for this one. And then just looking, and pool B is way more competitive in terms of like playoff predictions, um, power of friendship wise. So they just have to beat 1,000, plus um, 11 points guarantees playoffs. So basically, if they 2-0, um, like 2-0, 1,000, they'll be at what, 11. So they'll get guaranteed playoffs, and then they'll just have a game, versus GFC, to play for seeding. So we'll kind of see how it goes for sure.
They're playing right now, by the way. I think 1K and
Oh yeah, they're
POF,
playing.
not
No,
streams,
they're
but
playing their 1,000 game. Power friendship versus 1,000.
that's what I'm saying. POF's
Oh
playing. Sorry, did I say something? I meant
yeah,
POF's playing their
I heard
1,000 game right
GFC. I
now.
heard GFC.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they're playing their POF versus
And
1Ks right
then
now.
uh,
Elo surfers.
Elo Surfers. Thank you.
I got you.
12 points guarantees a spot. 11 points if World Soup Center loses a game. Plus 1,000 loses a game. So I don't know how the game's going at all, but we'll kind of talk about some of the other teams and kind of their playoff predictions. But I'm gonna send it over to Mr. Cena. Talk about this game too, I should say.
All I'm gonna say, having also played against Power Friendship, I know what people say in like the team power rankings and stuff. They just haven't impressed me. Like all I don't know if I'm just watching all of their bad games, but I haven't seen anything that made them particularly stand out. I think Elo Surfers is gonna take that playoff spot before Power Friendship does. But
Mm,
I know Group B is really up in the air right now
yeah,
with who's going to make it and who isn't. I think almost all of the teams in Group B still has a chance to make it to playoffs if they haven't already clinched it.
yeah.
So
The only team that's locked it is Wawa Warriors, and everyone else is still in the race currently.
I think I think the other teams who are going to make the playoff spot here. Let me double check who is in our group. I think Wawa Warriors has already clinched it. I
Yep.
think Gauntlet is going to make it. I think honestly, I feel like probably Elo Surfers
Yep.
will make it. And then the last one comes down to either Thousand Year Dynasty or World Soup.
Uh, ugh, ugh.
Trust in the VLN process.
I'm
I believe
I,
Okay.
I'm I,
I,
I'm buying his
I'll
stocks.
I'll talk about World Soup Center here, when we get to their game, but I don't totally agree with that list. I think instead of
really.
World Soup, it's probably or no, I think
Final
it's
Blast has a pretty rough
I
gauntlet to run here if they want to make that playoff spot.
yeah, and we'll talk about them here in a bit. But Venom, you got anything?
Yeah, I had like 7 of my goats are in this series. No, I'm good friends with like half the like I know like 60% of the players in this series. But like Colin, Joe, Paul, Mattia, which is Sauce of Legend, Marcus, who's the slot maestro, and David. Um, no, my goat's not washed. Paul heard all the haters. He heard everybody saying Paul's washed. Paul can't do it with a competitive jungle pool. Um, and he showed that he was going to take every single objective, the entire game, and pop off. So my goat's not washed. No, overall, Gumby's just Gumby. That dude's so damn good at this game. Like I think he got like Zed in one of them, and then
Game
I
one, I don't
forgot what he
know
played
how
in
you
game two.
don't ban said, bro. Like,
Yeah, like he is at this point. He almost has too much stuff to ban because it's like you need Talon ban, you need a Zed ban, you need probably his Silas game two didn't look great, but um, Sai was fighting Gumby tooth and nail the whole game. Shout out Sai for playing Mbessa game two. Their Sai or sorry, their Mbessa Sai's Mbessa was insane. Sai was doing things that I've never like. I've seen the champ like 3 or 4 games. Like Sai was doing some crazy shit on that. Respect to Sai for fighting Gumby, who there's like Sai's good within their own right, but Gumby's obviously peak challenger. and just sitting there fighting 1v1s and kind of outplaying him in a couple of those 1v1s. So shout out Sai. I think it's gonna be tough for POF because people are gonna start. People have figured out what their bans are. You ban Nocturne, Caitlyn, Ziggs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it'll be interesting. I have been Elo Surfer's #1 fan in Discord for the entire season, and I will continue to be Elo Surfer's #1 fan,
Oh shit.
even as much as Joe calls me Shatrick.
I totally missed. I totally missed the series, so we're gonna backpedal a little bit, and go over the.
Bro, this could be a 3-hour episode.
Dude, we're
Buckle in.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
Dude, we have 2 more series and predictions. We're almost there. Okay. We got Wawa Warriors versus Final Boss. Game 1 almost seemed lost when Azrael doesn't have lead. Morn had a pretty solid lead on the Xin Zhao, but just was unable to do anything. And then Final Boss heating up. Team is playing well, really really strong. I honestly think Sifra right now is just a top 3 for support. Game 2, Morn show was all. It was the Morn show, was just all around the map. The Talia was crazy. I think had like, I think there was like 36 kills, and he was part of, I don't know. It was like 10 less or something like that. I think it was like 26. He just was playing really well and was a part of a lot of fights. Azrael had a lead, so kind of like supporting my theory of like if Azrael has a lead, the game is like winning for Wawa. But if he doesn't, it's really hard. And I didn't even think Final Boss necessarily played bad. I just think there were times where they took bad fights. But overall, nothing crazy. And then game 3, honestly, really clean game by Final Boss, and kind of supporting my theory with that Azrael theory is Azrael didn't have a lead, and what happened? They struggled to create something on the map, and they lost. So, but honestly, MVP of this of game 3 though is Ryan. Got every objective besides a dragon, so really solid. Objective control, and then Asuna and Ryan, just great performances. The Asuna played way top. I hate him for playing a ranged top laner, but show respect to the hustle, I guess, to win a game. So yeah, all right, Venom.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, Azrael. I think he was built on another. Well, no, I thought you were kicking at the Bronze Cena first. No, sorry, I have the VOD because I was looking at the champs, what they played. Bro, I think Azrael was built on another planet. Dude's insane at this video game.
He is.
His Ashe, even though they lost game 3, his Ashe still looks insane every fight. Every fight I see, bro does not miss a single auto attack, and his spacing is extremely good.
How do you miss an auto attack?
Well, if you like.
Cancel it, I guess.
You can't. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
canceling it. Bro,
Sure.
bro, don't try to chump check me on
Listen,
League of Legends.
I'm just
bro.
saying,
Like,
it sounded weird.
no,
in my
actually,
head.
go play ADC and compare it to Azrael's kiting and auto attacking and spacing, and you'll see what the difference is. That's not a. No offense to you, but you see the difference.
I'm aware. I played the game
his
for
timing on
7
auto
years.
attacks.
I think.
That's what I'm saying. Don't chump check me on what missing an auto. What I mean, like he ain't playing Zeri every game, but no, I think Azrael is absolutely insane. I think like Moore played really well as well. I wasn't particularly a fan of the Lee Sin game 3. I don't know what his thought process was behind that. I'm sure they had a draft plan and strategy going into it.
Cosplaying Sprinklrr.
True, he thought he was Hootie or Sprinklrr, but no, Mord played it fine. I personally don't like Lee Sin. But Baratel, shout out Baratel. I think he played Nautilus 2 or 3 games. I think he played it 2. That Trundle v Nautilus looked abysmal. I felt bad for Baratel because that matchup looked awful. Not like I'm sure Baratel could have played it better and he knows that, but it just like I think Asuna got 2 towers by I think 14 minutes. Baratel left lane wants to go to a fight, and Asuna took like a full tower, and then was just beating the hell out of his in-him turret. So Shout out Asuna. The Trundle looked strong. His way looked pretty strong. Shout out. Like I think it was just a fun series. I think it was very close. Obviously by the 2-1. Shout out Ryan. Everyone could stop calling the 2 or 3-time champion carried by Dean. I think he played extremely well. They can't say carried by Rob. Rob was playing like Seraphine every game. Rob was chilling. But no, it was a fun series. I think both teams. I want to say both teams are in playoffs. Or oh no, sorry,
Nope.
final boss isn't. Wawa will be fun
Wawa
to
is
watch in the
locked.
playoffs. I think they'll figure out their what went wrong here, and they'll figure it out.
Yeah. So basically, there's final boss. They need a miracle at this point. So 9 playoffs with a bunch of contingencies, and then Pyrosis has full details listed, but I don't know what those details are. So
one more thing, shout out Garrett. I know Garrett's had somewhat of a rough season in Summit so far.
Yeah,
I think he played. I think the Thresh. I think he played Rakan twice and Thresh once.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought it might have been Thresh twice. I think it was Thresh twice.
No, it was Rakan. I have the VOD. He played Rakan twice. One of the Rakan games was into a Poppy, which is miserable for the Rakan. So shout out Garrett. I know, like I said, he's been not having his best season compared to what he's used to, but he played really well. And I think he's a good key reason why they are starting to win. He's starting to get back in his groove.
Sure. All right, Cena, you got anything?
You know, for this game, I feel like Final Boss is hitting their stride. I just feel like it might have been too late. They've got a pretty tough gauntlet if they want to try to make playoffs with, what is it? They have to hit 2 clean 2-0s.
Yeah,
and then I think another team has to not take a single point, or they have to lose one game. It's tough.
So the maximum is 10 points. But yeah, I think they're basically, you're gonna need like 1,000. Fuck, I don't even know. Like, a lot of people basically can't get points.
Yeah. Everyone else, they have to play perfectly, and I think just about everyone else has to completely blow it.
Yeah, I think so. According to PyPy, playoffs threshold current playoffs threshold is 8 points, 9 if you lost to Power of Friendship. So I think you have to be that many points in order to be in a playoff spot.
And they lost to POF.
So, but the maximum thresholds is 12 points, so therefore 13 points guarantees a spot. So, and they can't hit it, so they're basically playing for, I think, like 3rd or 4th. So probably that 4th spot. So
yeah, I feel like Final Boss played well, Wall Warriors played well, but I noticed that too. If Astral doesn't get that early lead, the game becomes so much more difficult for Wawa Warriors to win.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at this point, teams are gonna start trying to stall out Astral for as long as possible to try to make plays around the map. But
yeah, I mean, looking at the schedules, Final Boss has to play McMammals and Elo Surfers, and then Wawa actually has already played their non-scheduled match, so they just have the Gauntlet. So, and I mean, honestly, I think the Gauntlet's gonna get it done, in turn for Wawa Warriors. That's kind of like my thoughts. I think Neversaw gonna pop off.
yeah, I think coming up to our next 2 games, we're in that position where we're ready to, we're locking in. Our mental's here. We're back. We're better than ever.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, speaking of your team, we're gonna move on, because we're
another series, bro.
We have one more series. Last series. So
it's your series. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. This was.
Let's make it quick.
This was the Gauntlet versus 1000-Year Dynasty. Honestly, all 3 games were really tough. Evaps was just going crazy. Game 1, I think I played the Aatrox into Dr. Mundo. That one, top lane was pretty one-sided, but then I made a lot of bad plays, mispositioned a lot, and we ended up throwing game one after we were in like a pretty winning position. Evaps just punished our mistakes and just cleaned us right up. Game two went a lot better for us. Me and Sporadic were going crazy. PPP was PPP. I will never flame PPP's Nunu again. I will always trust. I will always believe. I will
He
trust the
got
process.
every single objective besides 2. There was 13
My
objectives in total.
my mini
Yeah.
goat PPP.
PPP just dominated that game. Evaps was doing what he could. Flash of Night was trying, but things kinda didn't go as they wanted for game two. Game three was a roller coaster. We started out pretty rough. I canceled an auto, lost a first blood, which was unfortunate, and then the lane swap, the role swap happened, and Evaps kicked my teeth in. It was top lane was not even close. I got curb stomped.
Yeah, the Gwen was not great.
Not great into Volibear, no. That's kind of hard.
Yeah,
I can't
Evaps
I I
Evaps
can't
had
stack up my
fun.
Qs if Evaps just runs at me.
Right, yeah.
But then I think at the point after I died the third time, I was like, dude, I gotta stop dying. I have to stop losing gold. So then Operation Just Don't Die began. Secured what CS I could. Just tried to stop, bleeding that gold away so I could let the rest of my team, because they were doing really well. They ended up getting a decent lead. Never Halmea, Flash
Yeah,
of
Flash
Night
Knight.
showed up. Flash of Night showed up and showed out in game three. Um, but we were definitely going to lose that game, and then they just overstayed too long in base. We were all fresh off of resets, and they were all low.
Yep. Yeah, it's that so uh, game 3, I mean, first off, I just need to hype my boy up. Bro, Flash of Night solos fucking never saw. What was that? Come on. Come on, man. I mean, I think Flash of Night, I mean, granted he's playing Seraphine, but I mean, still had a really solid game 3, and then like you said, the lanes, the 4-man swap, crazy. Um, and yeah, it fucking the Gauntlet. You guys had a lead and then lost it, and then 1,000 Year had a 7K gold lead, and then proceeded to lose it.
Yeah, we had a lead. We took terrible fights. We lost that. Then they took also terrible fights, and we managed to take it back. We got some really key shutdowns onto the right people. Ended up making up a lot of that gold that we lost, and then 1,000 Year Dynasty just stayed a little bit too long.
And honestly, I think like I think if honestly, I think if you even kill one, I think it's good. But the 2 people you did kill in your base were the 2 carries, was Flash of Night and Big Dummy. So it's like they're not able to stop you at all at that point. So
Yeah, Flush and Big Dummy had a lot of the golds outside of Evaps, and we managed to take them down. And then after that, it was just a matter of following Evaps back to base.
yep, for sure. Um, Honestly, I'm not gonna share a whole lot on this one. I think honestly, he or Bronzina pretty much said everything. But Mr. Venom, you have anything?
Um, I don't even know when this series happened. I'll be honest.
It happened last week.
Okay, so I was
Um,
I was out of town. So
yeah,
Oh,
I didn't see this at all. Like I think Noah probably told me about it in DMs and was probably like he probably said, "Oh my God, this damn series" or something. Uh, like maybe with some more curse words, but I don't know like like I don't know. Yeah, I didn't watch this series because if
that's
it was between Monday and Thursday of last week, there's no chance I watched it.
that's totally fine. We can
yeah,
move
that's about
on.
when it happened. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Shout out Malphite support.
Oh my
VLN
god.
got did dirty big, put
dude,
on Malphite
dude,
support.
the Malphite support honestly was kind of cooking. It was, okay, guys, are you ready for this fight? And then Malphite support just nukes Neversaw, and we're like, all right, I guess we're not gonna fight.
Yeah, I mean, VLN said it on the power rankings yesterday, but they were like, "Listen, your job this game is just to R Neversaw." And what did he do? He pressed R and Neversaw.
He pressed R and Neversaw. He understood what his mission was, and he just went for it.
Yeah.
And I will say I don't know if they plan on keeping the lane swaps.
So
But
they basically
it
they
didn't
played
look.
this game first, and then
Doesn't
they
seem
played
listed.
their non-scheduled game, which they kept the lane swap. So I'm
Okay, so
Yeah.
assuming it
they
is.
are keeping the lanes. Okay, so
That's my
like,
guess.
I think
oh,
keeping the lane swap is better for
I
them as a
think they're actually
team.
making a slight change. I think they still have Evap's top, but I don't know who's all
that makes
moving
sense.
yet.
Because Evap's, I think, is a top player. Like he's a
Yeah.
top main, right?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, put VLN. You throw like. Okay.
I
I
don't
guess it's
know
the same like
where
what the
everyone's
Gauntlet
going.
did with like KibCat, right?
Yeah.
Where you toss a player at support and let him figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. No,
Um,
I think the lane swap looks interesting. I think I didn't know how good SK Evaps was top because he was always jungling. And he looks sick. Obviously, Bronzina I think is like a top 3, top 4 top laner this season, probably 3 or 4. But
With all due
and
respect, I
I'll put
think
you
Game
4.
3 was one of the worst League of Legends performances of my entire life.
Yeah, bro. Evaps was. I'm looking at it right now. 30 minutes down, 120 CS.
Bro,
Burned
he
93
fried
on
me.
volley.
He fried me, dude.
He didn't just fry you. He cooked you and served you too. That's crazy. I would have
I've
crashed out. 4 and
I've I've
9.
played I've played with Evaps before in VLN. That's actually where I met him. He is, I think, one of the few top laners who's ever like beaten me so badly, and he's the only person who I continue to struggle against in lane.
Okay.
I've
nice.
beaten him.
Interesting.
I can count the number of times I've beaten him on one hand.
Wow, really? Very nice.
Okay. SK Evaps him then.
Yeah. All right. Well,
See?
with that, I think because I'm tired and we need to wrap this up
Let's just do a
because
quick run through
predictions real quick. This one first. Honestly, everyone's pretty close. I'm still in last. I'm one game behind though, so hopefully I can catch up this week. But
I think we had the
everyone,
exact same picks.
yeah, I mean, Pool A is pretty much copy paste, honestly, because we know who's basically winning in these last couple games. But Rookies and Cream versus GFC, everyone's going Rookies and Cream, besides Percy for non-biased reasons, of course. Some admins versus Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs, everyone's going Sprinklrrs Tinklrrs. Bewear versus Allen. Um, everyone going with Allen. With their lane swaps, I think they're gonna be a dangerous. Even if they were playing against Bewear, I still think they're looking like a dangerous team right now. So props to them. And then moving on to our cross match and Pool B, we have McMammals versus Final Boss, and everyone going with the Final Boss pick. Honestly, doesn't surprise me just because of how McMammals is playing right now. Like they're not playing like a great team. So, and then 1,000 Year versus Power Friendship. Everyone went 1,000, and I decided, you know what? I believe in Power and Friendship. So I picked.
Spoiler: POF's down 1-0. David said he threw game 1.
FF.
Sorry, he said he kind of entered a lead, and then he said they came back but lost. So
Oh, well, that's a problem for me.
yeah, just a quick update.
Good news for me. My 1,000 Year Dynasty stocks are up. They're up.
X-Ray gonna be in last place again. It's okay, X-Ray.
It's okay.
You got
I'll
this.
just have a picture of Array right next to my picture of Brissy.
Bro,
So
Array is cooking right now in predictions.
yeah, and World Sub Center versus Elo Surfers. Everyone going Elo besides Mr. Cena going with that World Sub Center. I think you're delusional.
I think it's gonna be close. But Elo Surfers has been showing up, so
Okay. So why didn't you pick them?
Well, yeah, you picked World Soup Center.
I'm saying I think World Soup's got it. I think World Seek's got it. I think they've got what it takes. Um, if they let me down, I will personally fry all of them.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sure, if that's what you think. Moving on, we have the Gauntlet versus Wawa Gaming, and honestly, I was thinking about it, and I maybe should have actually maybe gone the Gauntlet here, just because I think honestly I think Woojin coming into the lineup. Spoiler alert: Sporadic is no longer on the Gauntlet, and Woojin
It was
is back.
announced.
Yeah,
It was announced in announcements like 4 days ago.
yeah. So Woojin
Something
though
like that.
joining the Gauntlet, and honestly, I
Ezra's
think
about to slide on Woojin. I'm sorry, Cena.
bro,
Ezra's about to do some crazy shit.
I honestly got faith in Woojin.
It's cool. We have the most master plan.
Nice.
Ban
Cut out.
Ash. Yeah, you cut out. It's Ban Ash.
Wait, he's actually gone, guys. Cena?
Nice.
All right, he's gone. All right, we're gonna come here.
No.
I think his internet died or something like
Yeah,
that.
it did. I think okay, we have a masterclass of a draft planned. I think it's gonna be a draft Gapperino. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. You know, fair enough.
Let's see it.
But with that, that's gonna wrap up this episode of the Climb. Next week, 13 games, or not 13 games, 13 series. We are not covering all of them. Covering all 11 was a mistake.
Oh, just a little.
But, you know, that's okay, because we're here for content, right, guys? Right? I'm crying inside. Anyways, thank you all for watching. We'll catch you next week when we talk about all 13 series. Hopefully, all of them go to Game 3s. That's going to be great for me.
Glad Brissy has to do that next week and not me.
Yeah. Thank you, Cena and Venom, for joining me this week. And bye, guys.